for coming out, Liz Millardo. So I just want to talk a couple minutes about what Sustainable CT is, and then I want to kick it over to Jessica LeClaire, who's here, Sustainable CT. So in 2018, right, it was at the Connecticut Conference of Municipalities, which is an agency that all towns belong to. We had our annual conference, and Sustainable CT was kicked off to all towns to participate. So last year, the Board of Selectmen put a resolution together for having to participate, so they officially put us on the map with the website. We put a committee together, which we're obviously always interested in volunteers for that committee. And then we decided from that committee to reach out to subcommittees, so that's why a lot of you were invited to be here tonight. This is probably my most fun committee. It's exciting. It's a really great way for the community to be involved. And it's all about education, all of us working together. So with that, I have Robin Munster is the chair of the committee. She's right there.
I want to call her.
And Kristen Bettistone is my co-chair. It kind of started because we started doing things at the town hall, and I don't want to steal their thunder, because honestly, all the great things that we've done come from them. They come into my office with these ideas and they say, can we do this? And I'm like, sure you can do it, as long as it doesn't cost us anything. And then I'll say, sure you can do it, because it's a good way for savings and different things. So they've really done a lot in a really short period of time. We actually had Governor Lamont come visit a little while ago, and he helped weigh in with some of the plastic bags that we had. So Kristen slapped his hand, so there's a video of that. He wasn't holding
He was cheating.
He wasn't holding the weight right for the plastic bags. And there's this little video of Kristen just slapping his hand, and I said, do you realize what you just did? She goes, I'm just used to my kids. So not that Kristen does anything bad with her children. Oh, it's not those rumors. But anyways, it was actually kind of comical. So we've had a lot of laughs with it. We've had a lot of fun, but it's actually a very serious topic. So again, thank all of you for coming out, especially it's so chilly tonight. There's some appetizers over there. If any of you haven't had dinner like me yet, and you need to snack on something. So with that, I'm going to introduce Jessica LeClaire and let her kick off. And she has a PowerPoint, and we'll do some Q&A. And then Robin and Kristen has some other follow-up things. So thank you.
Well, good evening, everyone. As the first selectwoman mentioned, my name is Jessica LeClaire, and I'm with the Institute for Sustainable Energy at Eastern Connecticut State University. And as a sound check, can you all hear me? Yes. All right, if I fade off, which sometimes happens, just raise your hand. So we're here tonight to talk a little bit about Sustainable CT. And this is a program that Haddam signed up for. You're in, you're registered, you're working towards certification, and we're going to talk more about what that means. Sustainable CT is a relatively new statewide municipal certification program intended to enhance and increase the community's overall sustainability. And when we say sustainability, we mean more than the traditional environmental sense, though we do include that, but on top we layer on transportation, public health, housing, arts and culture, local businesses. Really everything that makes a community a place where people want to live, work, and play. The program at its core is a menu of actions. There's 55 different actions that cities and towns can pick from to work on to get points that will count towards their certification. So if you don't have one of these handouts, there are some on the table. They might be floating around, but it's kind of a helpful thing to look through and see what speaks to you, and maybe some of the committee or commission work that you're doing on town. What rises to the top of something that's interesting or that you know you're already engaged in. So the program is a menu of actions. It's flexible. There's no one-size-fits-all way to navigate sustainable CT. You can pick and choose the actions that make the most sense for your community, for your short-term goals, for your long-term goals, for where Haddam wants to be in the future. And we did that intentionally because Connecticut's a pretty diverse state. We wanted to make sure the program worked for Haddam, that it worked for Bridgeport, and Hartford, and Kent, and Ashford, and Montville. There's a lot going on in the state, and we want to make sure that there is something for every community, no matter where they are. Importantly, we do want to be successful within Sustainable CT, so we built in technical and financial supports, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about those as we get on with the presentation. This is our mission statement and definition of sustainability rolled into one. Sustainable CT communities strive to be thriving, resilient, collaborative, and forward-looking. They build community and local economy. They equitably promote the health and well-being of current and future residents, and they respect the finite capacity of the natural environment. As I mentioned, the program is built up of actions. That's really the heart and soul of Sustainable CT. You do the actions, you get points, you get certified. All of the actions within the program fall within these 9 different categories. And that's a little fuzzy, actually. Fix that up for you. There you go. So you can see they have pretty long names, but quickly they're transportation, physical infrastructure and operations, public services, planning, land and natural resources, local economies, housing, cultural ecosystems, and community impacts. And each one of these categories had a working group. So there's probably 15 or 25 people on each one of these working groups who came together for 5 months in the early part of 2017 to think through what our actions should be. So they thought through this list for us. And the 200 or so people that spent that time were made up of municipal elected officials, commissioners like yourself, staff people from towns, and entities that represent cities and towns, so councils of governments or public health districts. We really wanted to make sure that the municipal voice was woven within the actions of the program because it needs to make sense to towns. You're the ones who are taking on the program. It has to speak to you and your needs. And I should say that the actions that we have in the program are reflective of a point in time. We'll update as we grow and change as a state and we advance the sustainability needle. We'll add new things. We've got a list of new actions that we're considering for 2020 and we'll continue to grow and develop. And we want to hear from towns on the cool stuff that you're up to. I know there's a lot of interesting recycling work that's happening in Haddam, so we want to find out what that stuff is and figure out how we can build it into our program. Each action in the program was designed, to have as many benefits as possible to really maximize the bang for your buck. And you can see here there are 8 different benefit icons that we've selected to associate with any given action. There's environmental impacts, climate resilience, greenhouse gas emission reductions, health and wellness, cost savings, economic well-being, community building, and equity. So you might be sitting here representing the Conservation Commission and you're particularly interested in environmental impacts, clean air, and clean water. And you can go and search, it's a searchable filter on our website for actions that will lead to those benefits. Or perhaps you're from economic development and you really care about economic well-being of Haddam. You can go in and find the actions that will lead to that outcome. There are other benefits to participating, and we hope that Haddam is experiencing these now and at a greater rate in the future. The first is recognition. So when you get certified this year, right? Yep, this year. You're going to get a plaque. The first selectman's going to get a very nice Connecticut-made plaque. They're beautiful. At the CCM annual convention. So CCM is the Connecticut Conference of Municipalities. They're our partner. And last year there were, I think, 1,000 people in the room, so you stand up, get your plaque, get awarded. And it's really a way to show off that sustainability is something you care about, you're active on, and you're successful with. So that bragging right that you get, it really does mean something. It's a way to market your town as sustainable and provide people who are considering where they want to live. They can see this town cares about these issues, and now I've got some outlets that I can work on these issues. There's also funding and other resources that can come to a community because you're registered. So our resources, which include some free consultations, we have a grant program that we're soon to be rolling out. There's other trainings and different opportunities. Any town that's registered can access those. There aren't rewards for being certified. We want our resources really to be implementers. And as we see tonight, and as we've heard from other towns, especially those who have gone through the certification process over the first year, the program brings people together. We have a broad look at sustainability, so we're bringing together environmentalists with historic preservation people, with those who care about bicycle riding, and those who care about arts and culture and everything in between. So we're here tonight to see the community building happening and that strengthening of civic infrastructure across our cities and towns. Another benefit is the peer sharing and visibility. This is a screenshot of our 75 registered towns. So you can see all of the towns that are blue are active, registered, and working on getting certified. So Haddam has a blue dot. Those that are bronze level certified, and those that are shaded silver are silver level certified. And we've got those 2 levels of certification currently. And any town that's certified, everything that they've successfully included in their application package is available on our website. So it's up for public consumption. So Middletown, your neighbor, is a bronze certified community. They got 300 points. You can go in and see every single thing that passed muster, that they got a point for, it's up there. You can see policies, you can see website links, you can see photos of events, whatever it is. This would be helpful for you if you're trying to figure out how to complete an action, or if you're wondering what towns have done what and if you can make a connection. Or if it's something that's replicable in your community that you just put your Haddam flair on, go ahead. Look at that, use it as a resource. So we're going to walk through very quickly the certification process. So you are already on step 3. So you've passed the resolution. Yeah, very nice. You passed the resolution, you registered, you have a sustainability team. Now you're in this really exciting step of expanding and figuring out where you are as a town in terms of already completed actions, where you'd like to go in terms of new actions and how you're going to get certified. So you're just working away. To sustainable CT, there's no deadline. So we don't, it does not matter to us if you get certified this year or next year or 10 years. What really matters to us is that you're working on sustainability, that you're accomplishing your own missions and objectives, and that we're advancing the needle on these sort of issues. However, if you want to get certified this year, we're totally in your corner, and we're here to help you as much as we possibly can. So, if this year's your year, we've got 2 checkpoints that I wanted to draw to your attention. The first is May 2nd. It's a pre-application deadline. This is totally optional. Towns at this point can submit an action or 10 actions or everything that they intend to submit for certification. We have 35 external reviewers that are plugged in at this time to help us review your submissions. So it's a great time to get feedback. We have a hard deadline of August 30th this year, so if you'd like to be considered for certification in 2019, everything has to be done by August 30th. That said, May 2nd is pretty far away, so if the town has questions or you're reading things and they're confusing, please let us know. I should have brought my card, I apologize, but you can find our information on the website or ask Robin. We're here to answer questions, so if things aren't gelling, it's a little confusing, or you just are wondering if what you've done would count, we're here to answer any sort of questions you might have. This year we have 2 levels of certification, bronze and silver. And to be successful in either, you have to complete our 1 mandatory action, which is 9.1, optimized for equity. To be a bronze certified community, you must complete 1 equity toolkit, and silver, you have to do 3 of those. Then you do 1 action in any of the 9 categories for bronze or silver, so that's really just to encourage that breadth of sustainability. And then you can do whatever actions you like to do for 200 points for bronze or 400 points for silver. And we have about 1,600 or 1,800 possible points in the program, so there are a lot of different ways to get certified and to work your way through sustainable CT. We want you to be successful. We want to help you as much as you want to be helped. We've provided hundreds of hours of direct support to cities and towns. Please call us, email us if you ever have questions. We are here for you as much as we can. We like to host events, so we go out to towns to do informational sessions like this, but we also host workshops that might be related to a particular category or an action. We try to do them via webinar or in person and sort of scatter them across the state. We have a lot of partners as well, and they're doing things that might relate to certain actions, so we're happy to broadcast those, and we do try to share that information to sustainability teams. And any of this information is also available on our website. So you can go to the website, sustainableCT.org, and find any of the resources or webinars. So whether or not you're active with the sustainability team in Haddam, if there's something that's interesting or related to your commission or committee work, feel free to go online and check it out, and perhaps there's an event coming up that makes sense to you. We have right now some no-cost assistance programs available to communities who are registered. So we have equity. So equity is our 1 required action, optimized for equity. We want you to feel comfortable with that, so we have coaches on board. Actually, we're doubling our coaches. We had 2 for last year. This year we have 7, so that's not double, it's triple plus 1. And we're training them all tomorrow in North Haven. So we're excited about that, to be embracing and enhancing our team there. So those coaches can come to your community and help you navigate the optimized for equity action. We are working with the Solar Foundation and the Connecticut Green Bank to accomplish Action 4.6, streamline solar permitting for small solar installations. So they'll do the first 2 parts of that action for you. They'll come to the town, review your regulations, make sure there aren't any things that are blocking small solar. Everything's basically copacetic. And if not, they'll let you know where you can make some improvements. We're working with the Nature Conservancy to offer some community resilience building workshops for communities. In these workshops, the Nature Conservancy comes in, runs a facilitated discussion with key staff from the town, identifying your climate vulnerabilities and identifying some strengths. The Nature Conservancy takes the proceedings of the workshop and produces a report that you can submit for 2 actions, so you can get, I think it's up to like 40 points. The Nature Conservancy is taking on the bulk of the work. We're just asking for a half day of your time. We're working with the Connecticut Green Bank to run a Solar for All campaign in communities that have high, low to moderate income families and residences to bring solar to more people across the state. And there's more to come, so we're trying to get one rolling with the utilities to do energy benchmarking, possibly some with our housing actions and others. So in these no-cost assistance programs, we're skipping the messy stuff of giving a town money and asking them to apply for it and report on it and track it and spend it. And we're just giving you the service to complete the action. Though we will have that messy stuff of giving you money, so we've got a grants program that will be rolling out over the next couple of weeks, possibly a month, hopefully not months, but pretty soon, where we have $350,000 committed to provide to towns this year. And lastly, we have fellows. So we have Sustainable CT fellows that will be at the councils of government's offices to provide direct hands-on support to registered towns during the summer. So we just reviewed 40 applications today for fellows, and we'll pick probably 13 of those and get them out of the 9 councils of government. And they're a great group of students. We're really excited to bring them on to the team. Another support or resource, this is a screenshot of our grants portal. In the grants portal, we have funding that's available from nonprofits, state agencies, federal agencies. It's not from us, so we can't guarantee that you're eligible or that you get the funding, but we're trying to put that up in one spot for you, and we change those out as we see opportunities coming and going. It's just some of them. And lastly, I want to very quickly explore an action. I've talked a lot about actions, and I want to make sure we all leave here tonight on the same page. This is a screenshot of our actions page. You can see the top 9 bullets are our categories, so you have to complete one action in each of those 9 categories. The bottom bullet is the innovation action. It's not a category, nor is it required. It's just a place for you to tell us what you're doing that you're really proud of. That's not on our list. We know we didn't get everything that a town could do. So that's a place we're really hoping to learn from towns about what's the cutting edge stuff that's happening across Connecticut and see what we can build into the program for future years. So we're going to just look at well-stewarded land and natural resources as a category. Here are some of the actions that fall within this category, and we're going to check out develop an open space plan. So this is the action description for develop an open space plan. If you were to print this out, it'd be about 2 or 3 pages. So there's a bit of information here. You can see there's lots of different ways to get points. You can get 5, 10, 15, 20, or 25 points depending on which elements of the action you do. So you might read this action and say, develop an open space plan. We've done that, good. But I caution you against just reading the titles. Dig into this. There's some other ways that you might get points and some other things that you might be doing or not doing that are valuable to the town. We struggled with naming these actions in a way that would tell you everything that you could do under them. So just like you can't judge a book by a cover, don't judge an action by its title, and really do dig in. I encourage that. And all of these action descriptions are available on our website. You can see the benefits that are associated with the action, environmental impacts, greenhouse gas emission reductions, climate resilience. And on the left-hand side, yes, your left-hand side, you can see the table of contents. These are all of the different elements that are within this action description. To start, we've got the objective, a sentence or 2 on the point of the action. We walk you through what to do, so we specifically say what you need to do and what you need to submit. If you don't submit what we've asked for, we cannot give credit. There's no partial credit in Sustainable CT. We try to keep it very black and white so that you're not feeling like unsure of what you're submitting, and we're not saying, I know Haddam really tried and I want to give them the points. It's yes or no. However, that said, if there's something that it's within the spirit of the action, and this is just how Haddam does business, and it's never going to change, and we've accomplished this action, call us, talk to us, and we'll try to figure it out with you. It might be that we need to consider some amended text for a future year, or maybe we can work with you, or not, but we're open to talk with you and figure out how things happen here in Haddam. Because every town is so different, which is kind of the fun part of the job. In this action description, we also walk you through potential municipal and community collaborators. So if you're not sure where to start, these could be some departments or organizations that are helpful. We also pull funding from the grants portal to the say that 10 times fast. These specific actions of which they relate, so you can see it no matter where you're looking. And we also have resources, so we've tried to pull in relevant toolkits, calculators, guidance documents, programs or organizations. So these could be helpful for you. And within your committee work, if there's actions that do speak to you and you want more information, these action examples, action descriptions are all available on the website. We pull in why an action matters and the benefits, and then also some success stories from across Connecticut, because peer learning is really important. There's a lot to learn from the good work that's happening across Connecticut. And lastly, and very importantly, we give credit for past action. So if you've done an action and it fits our requirements and you've got everything that you need to submit, in this section we'll say how far back into the past we'll look to give that credit. And it does vary action by action, it's not generic, and we've set those with our working group members based on the impact. So if an action's still generating impact in our eyes at that time, then we'll give you credit. So we've set that out, so if you think you've done it, check the look back period within this section, and then make sure you've got all the requirements and you're good to go. And the importance that pass that information off to your sustainability team so they can get the credit. So that's it. I want to thank you for your attention on this Wednesday night, and if you have any questions, I'd be happy to take them.
Could you repeat what you said after, hello, my name is Jessica?
Where I work or the whole deal?
So once we get to one of these levels, silver or bronze, whatever it is, then what happens?
Then you're certified.
But is there no more after that? Should we?
We're working on a goal.
Aha!
We are working on a goal. And I wish we had more time to enjoy bronze and silver, because now we already have to think about what gold looks like. So we launched in 2017. Our first class of communities were certified in 2018. Certification lasts 3 years. So December 31st, 2021, those first communities are expired. And we want to give them at that point the gold. So our objective is to shoot for a rollout of gold around 2020, which used to seem really far away, but now it's just actually yeah, so we want to keep advancing that.
And under each of the action items, it's catchy. There's multiple bullets to hit, so we might certify by hitting certain bullets under things, but there's always time to go back. And in New Jersey, how many years ago? So New Jersey's been doing this for quite a while.
Well, actually, there are 12 other statewide programs similar to ours, and we're part of this national network. And we worked closely with Sustainable Jersey. And I tell you, our name's Sustainable CT, and we went through this whole big process about the name where we had focus groups, like all the stuff we had a consultant, and we still landed on Sustainable CT, which is kind of funny after all that. Yeah, so they've been around for 8 years. They're sort of like the grandfather.
It's always like a work in progress, right? So just
Well, that's
because,
kind of what I was getting at.
exactly,
What's
it's not,
the
like, we're
next?
never gonna be there, right? It's always like something to look forward to, and then take all the different committees and commissions, and take all this, community groups and social active groups, and put us all together, and just make us be the best that we can be. So I think it's something, that's why it's so important to have the community involved, because it's not like a test or a task, we're just gonna get there and be done. It's a continuing, it's always a work in progress. And that's what's kind of exciting and fun about it too.
Yeah, and some of our certified towns, they're already working to get the next level, or if they were silver, just keep going, get more points, which is pretty cool. Some people are resting on their laurels, which is exciting, because we would allow it. They get 3 years to enjoy their beautiful plaques.
I mean, they're
Are you a nonprofit?
Yes, Sustainable CT Inc. is a nonprofit. I work at the Institute for Sustainable Energy at Eastern Connecticut State University, and we are hired by the nonprofit to oversee the daily operations of the program.
And how long has it been around?
November of 20.
Yeah, so we officially launched in November of 2017.
Yep.
We had like a year or two, year and a half of prep work to try to get this up and running and bringing everyone together. That's when we had the work group process. So we did a soft launch in November of 2017, a hard launch where you could now start to work on your applications in November of 2018. And then,
Yeah. No, and that's why they rolled it out through CCM, because all the mayors and first selectmen were there, because they really want Connecticut to participate, all 169 towns.
Yeah, that would be great.
The support Jessica talked about, so somebody, when she said the RiverCon, that's our planning agency that's down in Essex. So last year they had 2 interns come in, which were phenomenal, because it helps us break down the information as to what needs to be done. And then therefore we can explain it to the committees and get them up and going. So the fact that they're going to do it again this year, they were stellar, they were great, they really were.
Yes, sir.
Planning and zoning is working to adopt a land conservation zone, and then, once adopted, to put in a number of properties around Haddam. Is that something that you get credit for?
Would that be in your zoning regulations?
Yes.
Yeah, it
To
would.
conserve land.
So that would be action 4.1, integrate sustainability into your POCD and zoning. And I hear you already have a stellar POCD. So that action actually last year was really hard. And we heard from towns that it was way too hard. So we made it more adaptable and approachable. So if you have something that relates to sustainability issues within land cover, you will have your chance to talk about it in that action.
And is that the job of the committee to do? We just say, yes, we have these regulations, and these parcels are now in the zone, and pass it off to Robin?
I think that's part 2, where you talk about how you're going to all work
Yeah.
together.
You know, Steve, you're always ahead of the game. But yes, yes.
Well, stay tuned.
Or you can sign, yeah, you can sign up for another committee if you want.
What other
The
questions?
fellows will be ready for when?
June 1st is our, well, around June 1st. We'll let them have at least a week or 2 off from school.
Do you know if there's any that are from the area, like Middlesex, or if we can try and get somebody that's local?
So we just looked at the applications together for the first time today, and we're going to request interviews with some students. I cannot recall where they all are from, or who will accept to be placed at the RiverCon. However, last summer we did have some towns have interns work for a town, either for free or the town provided compensation, but some just wanted that experience. And we brought those students into the fold. So we let them have access to our online workspace, which we call Base Camp. We brought them to trainings. We had little field trips where we went to the Capitol. And they were sustainability. They were fellows. They were just with the town. So if you have someone who's interested, or students here that are interested, we're happy to work with them. Yes.
I see this under the action in the 6th category. It says achieve high energy performance for individual buildings.
Yes.
Points would be 5 to 100. So online, is it giving you an access to understand how to get the 100?
Yes. Yes. So anywhere that there's a range of points possible, that means there are different things that you can do. And for that particular action, it's by building. So there's, I think it's like 5 to 40 points, 5 points per building for LEED, 5 to 40 points for Energy Star certified over Energy Score of 75, that has to be verified by an engineer, or 20 points for 2 buildings if you have I think it's net zero building designated by LEED zero, something, it's new. We don't have any buildings in the state like that yet. But it is broken down
Public buildings or
specifically.
even a private business?
Those would be public, so
All
municipal
public.
owned building, including Board of Ed, yes. Any other questions?
Oh, I wanted to ask you, was there information you got from Sustainability New Jersey to help you get started? Because I'm going to Arizona soon, and I want to bring, I don't know, are they one of the states that got this?
Arizona is not. So there actually are no southwestern states. The furthest west, there's California. They have Green Cities, California. It's slightly different than our program. Sustainable Jersey has a website. There's also our network site, which is, we changed our name. We're the Sustainable States Network, but we used to be the National Network of Statewide Sustainability Local Organizations. And to us, it wasn't very good, so we picked SSN. We know that already has, you already have connotations around that, but it was better. So if you look at nnsso.com, because we are right now currently upgrading our website, you can go on and find the other programs. There's New York, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Florida, Virginia, Maryland, Jersey, Massachusetts, Connecticut. Who am I missing? There's a couple others in there. Pennsylvania. You're welcome. And yeah, we all do learn from each other. And we were able to springboard ahead because we learned from them, from those organizations. We have annual meetings every year face-to-face. And before we had done our soft launch, which I want to correct the record was in 2016, and our official launch in 2017. First group was certified 2018. So in 2016, sitting around the table saying, what would you do differently if you could start your program all over again? And that was really helpful. And we got to build in things like equity. We built that in. These other programs haven't, so they're thinking about how to do that now that they've got programs that are 8 or 10 years old. And they're learning from us, which is kind of cool. So it's a give and take with that mission. So now we talk about how you work together.
Yeah, so I'm gonna let, you want me to go first?
Yep.
I'm gonna let Rob kick it off. Her and Christian.
We're gonna do what they do.
Thank you, Jessica. Wonderful wealth of information. Really appreciate you coming out tonight for this event. Well, this is community. It is a community effort, and that's why we're here, to better our community in the end all. Our committee entails myself, Kristen, we have Chip Frey, we have Chris, please say your last name. Thank you. I don't want to butcher it. Gail Reynolds, trying to see who else is on my committee here.
Linda Talbot, but she's away.
Oh, yes, that's right, Linda Talbot, she's away. Jeff Lord, he's not here tonight, he couldn't make it. And we also have Lauren Crawley, also on our committee too. And I think, Vivian McGarry is the other one too. So these are our committee members. Each of us has a specialty. They have the card, and each of us is taking up a section on the card. So if there's something of interest to you on there, let's say invasive species. I want to go out and rip bittersweet down in the meadows. So that's something you want to be involved with. You're going to grab a person or talk to us, that's where you want to be involved with. I want to work in economic development. I want to help make the town center a more thriving area. Or I want to be involved with housing in Haddam. These are all sections that you can look at and grab us, and we will direct you to the right person who actually is going to be working with that to be involved with. And we have currently started a couple of programs, which Kristen has spearheaded the whole plastic bag, which I'm sure everybody's seen all over the internet. In fact, I walked into an office 2 weeks ago and I was talking to somebody in Essex, and the woman walks up and says, I know you, you're the bag lady. I'm like, oh, okay. So they know us out there. They've seen us. They know us, what's going on. And she did a great job getting us all set for treks. And now we have a bench, and we're moving on to the next one. So we're going to talk about what we're doing with the transfer station, some of the programs that we're working with right
Can I
now.
interrupt for a second? Since we have so many people who turned out, so I'm going to take advantage of volunteers. If you can write your name and your email so that we can keep you in the loop of what's going on. We didn't think of that ahead of time for a second, did we?
I actually do have some.
See, I knew that. If we could start that, that would be great. And then if you serve on a committee already, if you could maybe write what that is, so that if there is some direction in that committee that we need some help or reference to, we could reach out. That would be really helpful. But I figured, since you're sitting here listening, it would be a good way to serve some time management. Sorry, Kristen. That's okay.
Can you tell me what you did with the bags? I don't know. about
She's
that.
going to finish talking.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, so,
very
Kristen,
exciting.
you start on the facts, and we'll go on to the next.
So, the end of October, Gary Wright came into the town hall and he said, hey, I heard that Trex will take your bags and recycle them and make you a bench out of them. So, kind of like got us thinking about it. I'm like, you know what, let's take a look into that. So, Trex offers this program if you recycle your plastic bags and film. So, your saran wrap that you wrap your sandwich in, or your, the bread bag, or any soft plastic that you can pull, right?
Cereal.
The cereal, right? So any plastic that kind of pulls, if it crinkles like a chip bag, it doesn't count. The only exception is the cereal bags, which I don't know why they take those over other ones, but whatever. So we launched this program. It We went into Liz's office and was like, hey, we want to collect plastic bags. She said, you want to do what? We're like, hey, does it cost us anything? No. All right, go ahead and do it. So we started collecting these plastic bags, and in the first, back up. So you're supposed to be able to collect 500 pounds in 6 months, and they'll give you a truck strategy as a thank you. Well, in 6 weeks, we had collected 500 pounds. We are 300 pounds shy of a ton.
And we probably have it at the transfer station.
No, so the program only runs every 6 months. You only get a bench every 6 months. But the fact is that this small town has pulled almost a ton of plastic out of our environment. I mean, look at the wrapping for the water bottle. That's all part of this. Chip Frey built us a composter that we have behind the town hall now, so we started collecting scraps. We had to get an actual container because it got a little smelly in the town hall, but we started doing that.
K-cups.
The K-cups. We don't encourage K-cups in the town hall, but we said if you're going to use them, at least let us recycle them. So now we've got a tin back there. You can see like what we've done. I think that's like 2 weeks worth. Like, it adds up so fast, and the fact that we can pull this stuff out of the environment is just fantastic. So,
And remember, we pay for this. That's the thing, we pay by the ton. And what do we pay by the ton now for? Is it
Yeah, so I
85?
sit on MIRA, which is materials recycling, and it has to do with the transfer plant up in Hartford, and I actually sit on the board of that. And it cost us, we do get some feedback from electricity, but the markets, for many of you know, recycling and plastics aren't going to China any longer, and those juice boxes that the kids drink out of aren't being recycled like they used to be. So we're looking at about $100 a ton, which is why we went up somewhat on the transfer station fees last year. Private haulers are going up on that. There was just a huge issue at MIRA where we had to divert trash because 2 of the turbines went down, and it cost us about $7 million. And the municipalities that belong to MIRA are going to have to come up with those dollars. So there is some savings, and after 2022, we're not paying for recyclables right now, but we're going to start to pay. If a new town comes to MIRA or other places for recycling, they're going to pay $30 a ton. So this is a huge issue. It's a statewide issue, it's a country issue. So if we in Connecticut can make a difference or Haddam in that footprint, that's really, really important. So to Kristen and Robin's point, I mean, it was hysterical. It was kind of silly at first, because I said, okay, we can collect plastic bags because we collect clothing, and we collect perishable food, and we do a lot of that at the town hall. But all of a sudden, we had no room to put these plastic bags. And then we were doing trips, right, to send them where we need to go, and then we're thinking, well, we're burning gas, we're doing this, we're doing that, we're not really being, economically very friendly to the environment right now. So we've asked for volunteers to come pick up these bags. And then the transfer station crew has kicked in, and they've been wonderful, and they've collected things. And then we actually went out and we got some bins to hand out for each town hall employee, so we're breaking things down even more. We've been doing a lot of education. And just in the difference for those of us that are in the town hall, the impact has been phenomenal. I mean, you're talking from October to now, we have a board when you walk into the town hall of a thermometer. We're almost at a ton. It's only March, which is absolutely crazy. And Trex brought us or delivered this phenomenal bench, which went to the town green because the bench that was there has rotted from being there. But it's just a great, it's not about, it's great with getting the bench and getting some type of reward, but it just shows the community chipping in. So we have a bin at the library, we have a bin down at Jack's, right? We went at the market. There are different places. And we've been trying to spread the word, but that's just one little component of this whole program that we can all make a difference for. And that's why we need help. That's why we need volunteers to be able to help us, because we've had a couple people say, hey, I'm heading to Big Y, in Old Saybrook, or I'm heading here, I'm heading there. And these are some of the places that take the material from us. So it's great. So if somebody can just swing in and they're on their way somewhere to take some stuff and to drop it off someplace for us, that's a great thing, because we're limited, as to where we can keep it, and obviously it needs to be clean because we don't have any issues.
The bags are clean and dry too, so it's super easy.
Yeah. And so, when I went to my MIRA board meeting today, I told them what we were doing, and they said to me with the Hartford facility, He said, you know, we have people reach out to us all the time on different recycling things, but we don't have the manpower to handle it for them to come up to Murphy Road and do it. So I said to, you know, the president, I said, listen, I have a crew in Haddam that will do almost anything. So I said, if you have those vendors reach out to you and there's different things that we can do for recycling, I said, let me know. And I said, you've got to get to the mayors and the first selectmen in the community so that we can spread the word. And this is how we plan to do it. So, not to go off on a tangent, but that's just one small thing that they've done.
And we're trying to organize the transfer station too. I know Bay State was put in, what, in
2015.
I didn't know it was there. I thought it was just a closed donation, but that it's got the big sun on it over in the corner. That's for all textiles. If you have stuffed animals, if you have a pair of ripped jeans, if you have one sock that gets lost in the laundry all the time, sneakers, hats, any textile. If you have a mat that you wash your dog after they come in from the rain, like all that can be recycled. They use it for all sorts of different things, and the town they pay us for that. So, and it keeps it out of the landfills.
We don't pay them, they pay us.
All these things that we're doing is keeping things out of the landfills.
And the transfer station costs the town to have well over $300,000 a year above and beyond the fees that we take. So, you know, and it's used by a majority of the town, but not all of the town. So again, like a way to help do some control, and I know we don't pay a lot of money in taxes, but, you know, there has to be more ways for us to be more efficient because this is becoming a big problem. And if we can get, you know, if we can be proactive work with it versus reactive with it, we're going to be a lot better for it.
And for those people that don't have transfer station passes, we do collect the textiles in the, and so you guys are collecting the textiles in the office now.
As long as we that's like,
The pin has a cover on.
I just saw OSHA coming in and you can't get to the elevator.
No, we
and
actually
that's
made,
the problem.
when you come in the town hall on the left-hand side down below, we've actually made it our recycling nook. So we put all of our recycling down there. So, but, yeah, right, so people that don't have transfer station passes, there is an option to utilize these resources.
And we're going to have an event in April around our Earth Day, April 13th. We're going to have a shredding event. We had one last fall, right after Thanksgiving, and it was a big hit. Everybody came out and just did a shred their paper. Well, we're going to do it again. And we're going to have a collection from Take Two. If you don't know what Take Two is, they take all electronics, anything with a plug, light bulbs, batteries, they recycle it all. And you want to see what they do with it, go online and pull up a YouTube video with Mike Rowe doing a disassembly of electronics. He did it on his dirty jobs. It's really cool to see what they do. They just take apart everything and scrap it. So they're going to come in and collect. And we're also going to do a Bay State collection too. So anybody who doesn't have a transfer pass, you can go there and bring your stuff.
And then the other thing is 25 years ago, I found this out when we had Haddam River Days. I was talking to a gentleman who used to work at the transfer station, and those recycling bins that we all got from the town, if you lived in town that long, I still have my green bin. You know, I thought, well, how great would it be for us to send them out again and have every household get a bin to be able to help recycle. And when I started looking at some of the resources we had, it was adding up very quickly. So we found a vendor, and if you go to Home Depot, they cost anywhere between $10 and $15 to purchase. So we found a vendor through the state that we can buy bins for $5.35 a piece. So we're going to purchase about 250 of them, and we're going to sell them for probably $5. And when you go to the shredded end, which we take the boxes in, it costs $5 a box for the shredding. And for the recyclable, we're planning on, you know, it's $15 at Home Depot or $5. We just really want to break it down to be able to do that, again, to help promote recycling and, you know, just have some education on it.
Just out of curiosity, show of hands, who has private hauling in here versus a transfer station?
I don't have
Okay, so mostly everybody else has transfer stations, everybody else have a transfer pass? Okay, interesting. I was curious to know if they still did private.
I still have a transfer.
Yeah, both, okay. I was curious about that.
You know, the biggest part about this project is that if we all take little pieces, then we can get so much more done.
Break it down, so.
What we do have in the back, and we'll take questions absolutely in a minute, we have in the back a table of plastic, our garbage that I've been collecting, as and Kristen's been collecting, and everybody else. of things that are not recyclable or do not have a code on recycling on the back. And we've called the companies, we've Twitter, we tweeted Twitter, the companies and called them out on it. Do you recycle this? Is this recycling? And they've answered back. And Trader Joe's answered back by everybody knows they're now going sustainable, no plastic bags. But it's interesting to see out of all these stuff that you probably have bought too back there that doesn't recycle. So do your due diligence. If you see something that you're about to throw away and it says, not recycling on it or it doesn't have a symbol, call them. They'll answer you. Trust me, they will.
So I was told we have another guest speaker.
I think we have,
Oh, yes, we do.
a question first.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, about the trailer at the transfer station. I never knew that was for textiles, because it says clothes, shoes, and linens.
Yeah.
And I always thought it had to be something that would be sellable goods or a charitable place. Now, I think that most people don't know that.
We're
So
trying to get the word out.
we can get a sign on there, because the whole front is this white, open place that I would be willing to donate for a sign. Not to buy the whole thing, but if we people make a collection to have that sign visible, because I think too many people are throwing their socks in the dump that we're paying to get rid of.
Absolutely.
Why you're still volunteering to make a sign?
I know.
And we can do that, but to me, and I'm happy to do that, and there's always a question about signage, but the people that work at the transfer station can tell you, nobody reads the signs.
Yeah, that's the
So
biggest problem.
It's
And
not
I'm
that
not-
There's gotta be creative, and I've got some ideas
Which is
about
why,
that.
perfect.
That's
So
like
that's what we
Yeah.
want. But that's why, like, word of mouth, so if you say to somebody, hey, did you know that
Yeah.
way in the transfer station, you can throw textiles in there? Then, oh, you can do that, and then
Yeah.
people will learn from each other.
And one thing you really need to look at is we have a transfer station page that's been updated and all this information is on it. Spread the word.
Yeah, I know.
Tell people that it's up there. Well, I know, but we also put it in the news. We put it in Haddam Now Online and also the newspaper that's coming to every household. So it's out there.
Yeah, but another thing, do that get the stuff in bags or just?
Yes, it has,
that don't even put it.
it
in
has to
bags?
be, it has to be in the bag.
Yes.
So it is in a plastic bag or a paper bag?
And because that's a new resource that people are becoming more aware of, they have been picking it up maybe once a month. So if you get there and you can't shove anything else in there, let one of us know, let one of the attendants know. We don't know how fast it could fill up at this point.
And they'll come on a more regular basis.
Yes.
We have been putting up on social media too, so you can watch social media.
I just thought I'd mention, one of my sisters used to do volunteer work for Goodwill down in Westbrook on the Post Road. And she said a lot of the clothing that comes in, people don't realize Goodwill shreds it and sells it by the pound. So if your clothing's not all that great that you don't think somebody's gonna wear it, better to keep it here.
Right.
And let us make the money.
Again, we take the money in. We
Yeah.
don't pay them. Money comes to us for once.
Oh, another thing that, when my daughter went to her school, the art teacher, and so all of you might know other art teachers or people that do creative art things. They will take the meat trays that won't recycle, the styrofoam meat trays and the mushroom container. Some things will recycle, but some things that won't recycle, our teachers will use for creative projects. And I brought to her school today a bin of stuff that I used to bring the art teacher, even like caps to your water bottles. The kids will use that as a wheel when they're creating a piece of art. Or they even are making robots, and so they'll use something to make. So that's another way when you have some items that won't recycle, you can, think of an art teacher, creative person, or after school.
And a lot of the schools
Might
have a
want that.
recycled art project.
Yeah.
So the elementary and the middle school.
That's a great
And
suggestion.
keep it
It's
out
all
of
about
landfill.
reusing.
We can't afford to spend money on it.
All right. Oh, one last little comment. Sorry. And it's about recycling plastic, something that we learned. So just because it has a symbol on it, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's recyclable. As we found out, the black plastic, which has a symbol ranging either 5 or 7 on it, and they all have definitions on the symbols. You can look them up. We actually have them on our town page. Black plastic is not recycled in the state of Connecticut.
Because there's chemicals in the resin, so they won't take them, so that's why.
Yep, but you go and get takeout food, black plastic bottoms down it, and it does have to do with also the cost of recycling it. It's easier to take clear and white plastic and make it another color than it is black to make another color. Cost effective. So just so you know, not everything you throw in is. Oh yes, okay, so we have one more surprise tonight. We have a 5th grader, Amelia Riggs, who wants to do a presentation tonight about plastic bags and why we should ban the plastic bags in the town of Haddam. So she did a little presentation and she's going to talk about it.
Everybody can see. Put it right up here. How's that? Is it good? You need to work off it? Is that good? Got it? Okay, my dear.
Amelia, before you start, I just want to say, I'm going to pass around some sign-up sheets. I was doing them for my specific section, so just ignore anything that's written on the top. You just want to give out your name, email, phone number, and maybe an area that you're interested in. So we'll pass those around as well. Just go and see.
Hi, my name is Amelia. I am 10 years old and I'll be teaching you about the negative effects of plastic bags and why we should ban them in our town. How? Plastic bags are way overused, especially in Connecticut. In all, Americans use 100 billion plastic bags per year, and 1 billion of those are used by people living in Connecticut. In fact, more than 1,000 single-use bags are found in Long Island Sound each year. In 2017, volunteers picked up 1,288 plastic bags from the Connecticut shoreline, and another group of people cleared 50 tons of trash from the Connecticut River. And here are 2 pictures of bags that we took in Connecticut. This one's off a sidewalk, and this one was standing in trees near a Stop and Shop. Plastic bags that have been littered or thrown away greatly affect the animals that live around the world, on land, and in the ocean. They eat the bags, mistaking them for food, and eventually choke and die, or suffer serious health issues. Once an animal eats a bag, it makes them feel full. Meanwhile, their bodies are slowly wasting away. They may even be poisoned by chemicals held in this deadly bag. Sea turtles mistake plastic bags for one of their favorite snacks, jellyfish. They are one type of marine animal included in the 100,000 that die each year because of ingesting plastic bags. But not just ocean animals just die because of plastic waste. For example, many cows in India have been found to have 50+ plastic bags in their digestive tracts. And these are 2 pictures of sea turtles that are eating this plastic bag. Although many people think that biodegradable plastic bags or paper bags are the solution to this problem, they are not, because paper bags take 7 times more energy to create than plastic bags, and there's already a lot of energy used in plastic bags. The reason biodegradable plastic bags are not the solution is because though they decompose pretty quickly, 3 versus 1,000 years, they, in their short decomposing process, cause carbon to turn into methane, which is greenhouse gas. Well, if we do not use paper, plastic, or biodegradable plastic bags, then what bags will we use is probably the question you are asking yourself right now. Reusable is the answer to your question. I personally think that people should remember their reusable bags when they go shopping, just as well as they remember their wallet. And plus, it is probably cheaper for the markets if they don't have to buy bags. And these are a few not so fun facts about plastic bags. It takes up to 1,000 years for one plastic bag to decompose. There are over 1 million plastic bags being used per of the debris clearing the U.S. coastline is plastic bags. About 1 trillion plastic bags are used per year. An estimated 12 million barrels of oil are used to manufacture the 30 million plastic bags used by Americans each year. Barely 15% of all plastic bags in America are properly recycled. The production of plastic uses about 8% of the Earth's oil production. The amount of plastic bags used per year can circle the world 7 times. Plastic bags start to degrade after 700 years. The average family uses 60 plastic bags per every 4 visits to the supermarket. Also, if Haddam chose to ban plastic bags, we would be the first town directly on the Connecticut River and in the Connecticut River watershed to ban them. And this is representing that plastic bags don't fit a lot of stuff. They fit about 3 cans of food. Well, paper bags or reusable bags fit all and versus and so my family, we have had some of our reusable bags for like over 15 years, and
Before you were born?
and a lot of them, there are many types that you can get. There's cloth, which is easier to wash. There's this kind. And any questions?
Amelia, how did you learn about all of this?
Well, I would like to see people when they had only like one thing in a plastic bag, and I didn't like when they like bottled the milk when it already had a handle. And so that motivated me, and I figured I wanted to do this project. Is there any other questions? Yes.
What's your biggest takeaway from doing this whole project? One message that you should share?
That like to take care of your environment, and that the environment matters a lot,
Thank you, Amelia. It takes a lot of work for what you did, and you're passionate, obviously, in what you do right here for this presentation about bags, and we really appreciate it. I see you in the future working with us. In the future, I know.
I would like you to donate some time, but I can tell you for a 10-year-old, you've got a lot of smart that a lot of people are older than you don't know. So thank you for educating us and sharing it with us. You did a great job. We everybody like your In the spirit of the plastic bags, we have developed a fundraiser for social services for the month of March. And anytime you go and donate to Food Bank or Fuel Bank, we are giving a reusable shopping bag away at social services right now. So please, donate to Fuel or Food Bank, and we'll give you a reusable shopping bag.
Also, I encourage you to tell at least 5 people about it.
Yeah. In the interest of Haddam News and HaddamKillingworthNow.com, what I'd like to say is that if we can get folks to sort of write an article describing, I think someone was saying that people don't know about the clothing drive, bin at the transfer station and what its use is and that sort of thing. So if someone is willing to write some articles about different aspects of this, we could have a series of articles about sustainability that we would run in the local weekly paper.
Absolutely.
And we'd appreciate that.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. There is some food left if you're interested. And, oh, yes, Gail. Oh, yes, absolutely. Okay, yep, Gail.
I work at the Yukon Extension Center right down the road, and I'm on the committee, and I'm focusing on the natural resources portion.
Good job.
This is a little display about some invasive plants in Connecticut, and I brought some handouts on how to dispose of invasive species, because there's not just anything that you want to dump in your compost pile necessarily, because then you'll have more than you reckoned for. I also have, there are a lot of dead and damaged trees around. I have a little brochure on that. I have a brochure on soil testing, rain gardens, water chestnut, which is a big problem in the Connecticut River. I also brought my card, and I don't know if you knew that you can call the Extension Center, but if you're not sure what a plant is, or if you have an invasive plant and you're not quite sure how to get rid of it, if you want to know what to put in a rain garden, or even what a rain garden is, any kind of plant question or home garden question, insect question, you can come and ask us. And I have an office of volunteers, and if you don't know when you come or call or email, we will get back to you. So I just wanted to let you know, and I'll leave this up for a little while if you want to come take a look at it.
We're very fortunate to have Yukon Ag in our town. It's a gem that I don't think we realize that we can utilize much more for us. I'm glad that Gail could help us with this project.
Just want to share with you that some of the items, the bullet points you see, many of those we've accomplished in town already. Mark was on a committee when they started the solar project. We've installed LED streetlights down, when Liz first came in as first selectman, down 154. All the lights in the parking lot here are LED. Everything in this room is LED. Everything out in the hallway is LED. The garage doors at the firehouse, I was a volunteer in another town. Firemen love to keep the doors open and the heat on. Well, now when the doors are open, heat doesn't work. We've been able to reduct some switching on that. So they keep the doors closed. Town hall. Every time a light fixture doesn't work, LED. Change it over. Those are the sustainable items that have been going on all along. And there are many other things that in town that we can do, and we probably are doing, we don't even know. So I encourage you to contact people on the committee, check with the town hall, because we can have a lot of fun doing this. Put our energies into building this community, and it's going to attract tourism, it's going to attract businesses when they see that we care. And I know we do. So let's try to get something out of this, and it'll be like a nice plaque and all, but Jessica will give us all a hand.
Thanks, Chip. I mean, there's a lot of fun things. There's cultural arts that are involved. I mean, there's so many pieces to this program. So everybody has an interest, and everybody has a gift, right? We all have different things. So if you signed up tonight, great. If you want more information, Kristen's in the tax office, I'm obviously the first selectman's office, and Robin's in EDC as the treasurer. So the three of us are usually there, answer questions or reach out, to different committee members. And then as Steve had asked, I think what we'll do is we'll have a liaison between that committee, like through EDC, to the committee. And we are looking for committee members. So if it's something that you think you want to help with, it's a good way to be involved with the community and really make a difference. Thank you for bringing that.
Thank you.
Yes.
Also, one more thing, I just encourage everyone to at least tell 5 people about the textile thing as well. But in April 6th at Old Sacred Senior Center, I think it's the Rockfall Foundation out of Middletown, they're organizing a fix-it workshop. So if you've got an old lamp that doesn't work, that you don't want to throw away, or you need a knife sharpener, you have any kind of little thing that needs fixing, they have volunteers that are going to come to the Old Sacred Senior Center to fix things. So could be a toaster, whatever. At least try to fix it before you throw it away on April 6th.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.